World is taking over Children's Theater Company for an immersive tour where you can feel the roar. Get ready to face off against a massive T-Rex and see what it feels like to get sneezed on by a Triceratops at Dinosaur World. Dinosaur World runs through April 5th, and you can find tickets and more info at childrenstheater.org.
Portions of the following program may be pre-recorded.
Broadcasting live on AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota. In the evenings on WCPT 820, Chicago's Progressive Talk. In the nighttime hours, actually afternoon drive and nighttime hours in Seattle, 1150 AM KKNW. And on BAM, the Blue Amp Media Network at blueamp.co on Substack. Nice to be back there after Cliff Schechter had his Cliff-a-thon yesterday. It is the Matt McNeil Show for your Thursday. Good to have you with us here today. Matt and Brett is in here today on a Thursday. Hello, Brett. You're kind of unusual. You're here on a Thursday, but good to see you.
Yeah, good seeing you too.
Is Patrick taking the day off so he's going to immerse himself in NCAA basketball action?
I think he's doing all sorts of online betting. I think got a hold of the company credit card. Is gonna mortgage the entire station's future on Miami of Ohio.
It's like, well, we've literally gotten to the point now. It's, will this guy make this free throw? How about $1,000 on it? It's like we've taken the bookies and we've now made them bullies, and they're in your house with you. So yeah, nice. I will say this: I had a delightful day at the DMV today. What? Brett, I had the nicest experience I've ever had getting my driver's license renewed today.
Were you not there for it?
I would know. Of course I was there.
That's
you have to go there. I get there. Now, as all of us know, there is no better hell than the DMV at times. What's the longest? Do you know off the top of your head, what's the longest you've ever had to wait at the DMV?
Oh, probably about over an hour.
3 hours one time.
Yeah, that's a lot.
3 hours one time. I was over at the Southdale one here in town. That is no longer there. 3 hours I had to wait to get my driver's license done. I get there to where this the Minnesota Department of Transportation setup is. I notice there's not a lot of cars in the parking lot. I'm like, maybe I came in, they opened up, I guess at like 8. I got there at like 9:30 this morning. Thinking to myself, I'm gonna be able to get in there, pop in there, get this done. Hopefully not, I was planning on an hour, maybe 2. I go up, I grab the number off. They have the wheel of deal with the numbers on it. I look at the number, ding, my number is up. And I look up and I realize they've got like 7 people at the counter and only like 2 people are engaged. There are people waiting. They were waiting for people to come in the door. And I said, I got my stuff here. Can I get this done? I'm thinking like this, is this a trick? Is this like the Venus flytrap's about to close in on me? I'm about to be eaten like a fly? Oh, sure. Why don't you head over here? We'll do test your eyes and get your photo. Well, this is immediate. What do you mean? This is happening right? It's happening right now. Oh my God. I was ecstatic. In and out, maybe 10 minutes. That's with the eye test, which, by the way, aced it. And one of the more disturbing driver license photos I've ever seen. It's not good. But still, it's a driver's license photo. As long as it's good enough, I'll be fine. 10 minutes. What? Have you ever heard of anybody going through the DMV in 10 minutes?
Not in 10 minutes, no. Even with an appointment, you usually don't make it that fast.
How? Did I engage in a curse with something? Is there a child I'm going to lose? What's going on here? How did this happen? This is not supposed to be a delightful and happy experience. And by the way, can I say this about all the people that were working the counter there? Smiles. Minnesota, where our DMVs are happy, quick places. Oh my God. How is this even? I'm beside myself. I am beside myself, and I have a new driver's license. So there you go. A big, hey, be careful out there to everyone in the southwestern United States. Yikes. They're a little warm, a little early this year. We're going to be 70. We had a foot of snow on Sunday. We're going to be 70 on Saturday. Crazy. States across the U.S. Southwest recorded blistering temperatures in the tail end of winter, with forecasts indicating hotter days are still to come. well, the Earth is a globe and it's tilting. Never mind. I'll let you go back to take 10th grade science. California, Nevada, Arizona were all under heat warnings Thursday amid record-breaking temperatures. In California, the National Weather Service said the Los Angeles area was facing extreme rare heat for March, warning residents of the high risk for heat illness. It's usually when I think of Los Angeles, that's such a healthy climate with all the smog and stuff. Hey, the heat could be a problem today. Palm Springs, about 100 miles east of LA, is expected to reach 108 degrees today. Heat alerts remain in effect through Sunday. Temperatures are 25 to 35 degrees above normal, said the National Weather Service in Los Angeles. Many daily records are being shattered. Several daily heat records are already broken Tuesday, more than a dozen areas in Los Angeles. Although not scorching, the heat has also reached Northern California, with San Francisco facing moderate heat risk, 2 levels below extreme. Apparently, one of these days, Omaha, Nebraska is going to be like 80 degrees already. Crazy. Phoenix is under an extreme heat warning on Thursday, with afternoon temperatures expected to reach 105 degrees. For some perspective, the average first 105-degree day of the year is May 22nd. Oh, hey, but hey, no, you keep bragging about how much so much better than up here with the snow. God, have you ever gotten into a car in an 105-degree day? Even if it's just you're running inside, say you happen to go into Phoenix and you have the 10-minute DMV experience, and you go back out after 10 minutes to your car. You basically, it's, oh my God. I mean, you are going to get third-degree burns. It is not pleasant. You ever been down that way when it's really hot?
Well, I lived down there as a kid when in that area, LA area.
Did you?
Yeah, well, where it got warm sometimes.
Well, sometimes, but not Phoenix or anything.
Not like Phoenix hot, no. But yeah. Even if there's no humidity, that's still brutal heat.
I remember I went and visited my grandmother one time. She goes, flights are cheap. I understood why, because it was summer. I walk out of Sky Harbor, not in Phoenix. I walk out the door. That was like a plank hitting me in the face. It's like, oh my God. You
did this in the summer?
Oh God. Because it was like 8 o'clock at night. I landed at 8 o'clock and my driver's like, it's not that bad. It's cooled down. I'm like, what is wrong with you people? What is wrong with you people? This is not normal. 952-946-6205, 952-946-6205. Be careful out there. Now, you've heard me repeatedly say, I don't think it's been a secret, that I think Donald Trump's a dumbass. Okay, I think that is. Has that ever come across? I mean, have I made that point per se?
No.
All right,
first time.
Yeah, he's not exactly a looker. God, he's Chet from my science project. Or no, he's anyway. He is an embarrassment. Beyond an embarrassment, beyond an embarrassment, beyond an embarrassment. The tastefulness or the lack of tastefulness that would happen today might be the worst thing he has done. Now, mind you, earlier this week, this clown car screwed up the St. Patrick's Day celebration, where he gets a bowl of shamrocks, everyone shakes hands, they might have a drink of Guinness, and then everyone moves on. And he screwed that up. But that was, the Lincoln Douglas debates compared to what freaking happened today. Over 83 years ago, Franklin Delano Roosevelt called the Imperial Japanese Navy's December 7th, 1941 attack on Pearl Harbor a date that will live in infamy, as he urged Congress to declare war. On Thursday, Trump turned that into a punchline. Yes, this does include a meeting with the Japanese Prime Minister, Takachi. Trump was finishing up a question. Okay, I already know everyone's like, no. You can already tell where this is going. No. Yeah, he did. Trump was finishing up with a question and answer session with reporters during a bilateral meeting with the Japanese PM, when a Japanese journalist asked why he did not inform key American allies, such as Japan, before the start of the joint U.S.-Israeli air campaign against Iran on February 28th. A fair question. You're the Japanese. He's asking you to help now. Well, why didn't you tell us about it beforehand? A fair question. The president initially said the U.S. went in very hard and didn't tell anybody about it because we wanted surprise. But then Trump's response took a turn. Moments later, he says, who knows better about surprises than Japan? This is to the Japanese prime minister. After some muted laughter from the U.S. officials who joined him for the meeting, he turned to the prime minister, who was born 2 decades after the attack, to ask her another question. Why didn't you tell me about Pearl Harbor, okay? At that point, there was audible groans, and then the room went silent. Takachi, who spent 2 years in Washington working on Capitol Hill during the Reagan administration, has a strong command of English, was clearly taken back by Trump's attempt at humor. The smile she had on her face disappeared. Her eyes widened as she realized what Trump had just said. After an awkward pause, Trump returned to the topic he'd been asked about, telling reporters he's asking about me about surprise, and we did. Yeah. I'm surprised he didn't put his fingers up against his eyes and pull them back and did one of those 1970s caricature impressions, racist impressions of a Japanese or Chinese person that you used to see people do. Because I think that was basically the next step. He's Ron Burgundy, only he's a real human being. And he's the president of the United States. And okay, and quick say, is he saying the United States attacking Iran, that we're taking the role of Japan attacking Pearl Harbor? Because that kind of is sounding like... He is a international embarrassment. Nobody in Japan likes him now. I mean, I don't like him. I mean, Japan, I'm with you on this one. He's a disgrace. He's an absolute disgrace. And it's just, I'm serious. I'm so embarrassed by him at this point. I am so embarrassed by this man that it almost drives me to tears to see him humiliate this country over and over again. But this is just his racism. He can't even try to keep it. I don't think he wants to even control it anymore. It is a disgrace. He is a disgrace. God. I'll take a break. Come on back. It's the Matt McNeil Show. March Madness is here, and Popped Corn, that's Popped corn.com, is a game time decision for you. Enjoy your favorite flavor of Popped Corn gourmet popcorn, like cheese made with real cheese, the classic mix, or the featured flavor of Shamrock Caramel. And many college teams are featured on Popped Corn's tins. You can ship your favorite team tin across the USA. Find your team at poppedcorn.com and enter the discount code of Matt to get 10% off your order. That's discount code of MATT at poppedcorn, Popped corn.com.
Would you let animals pick your insurance? Do you really need to experience mayhem to get the best rates? Or how about a celebrity quarterback or fake university saving you money? There's a lot of marketing stunts when it comes to insurance, but what you really need is someone looking out for you. Call Array Insurance, and they will work hard to find you the best insurance coverage and rates. So avoid gimmicks and call Cheryl at Array, 763-504-3067, or arrayinsurance.com. Array Insurance, working hard for you.
The Electric Fetus is having a pre-inventory store-wide sale now through March 22nd. Take 20% off almost everything in the store, including new and used vinyl, CDs, and DVDs, Electric Fetus t-shirts, hats, and pint glasses, and tons of other great gift items. The store is open 10 to 6 Tuesday through Saturday and 11 to 6 on Sunday. It's closed Monday. Electric Fetus is located just south of downtown Minneapolis at 2000 South 4th Avenue. More info at electricfetus.com. Sale ends Sunday.
Prime Productions is thrilled to bring the world premiere of Abuelita by Nathan Youngerberg to the Capri Theater March 14th through the 29th. A grandmother from Iowa brings her grandson to meet his Puerto Rican relatives in sweltering New York, 1993. Davi's world is transformed with music, dancing, and community. Directed by Shay Cage. Pay-as-you-are tickets can be purchased at primeprods.org. That's spelled prime, P-R-O-D-S.org.
Hi, this is Chad from AM950. I've been telling you about Snap Construction, the company AM950 trusts for all roofing and siding needs. Now that spring is here and summer is around the corner, now is a great time to find out why AM950 trusts Snap Construction. Ryan, the owner, and his team at Snap Construction have been great to work with, and they have enjoyed working with our listeners.
Hi, this is Ryan, owner of Snap Construction. We've absolutely loved working with the listeners at AM 950. What a great group of people and a great radio station. I personally want to thank all the listeners that we've had the opportunity to work with. At Snap Construction, we look forward to working with many more of you when it comes to your roofing, siding, windows, and insulation. Don't just take Chad's word for it. Google Snap Construction, arguably the most well-reviewed roofing, siding, window, and insulation contractor in the Twin Cities metro. We led this community with a lifetime craftsmanship warranty. Don't wait to get a free estimate. Call today, 612-333-SNAP, 612-333-SNAP, or visit us online, snapconstruction.com.
It is the Matt McNeil Show. What the F, man? How? And a reminder, he does the first thing. He makes the first insanely offensive joke, and I'm putting joke in air quotes. And his cackle of administrative buddies are like, ha ha ha. But even they, after he brought up Pearl Harbor, were like, oh, that was not a good idea. He's just an absolute disgrace of a human being. Which brings us to the fact that he is the president as we attack Iran. Let's give you an update on a few things here. First of all, Donald Trump has threatened to massively blow up the dumbest timeline. Massively blow up the entire South Pars gas field if Iran carries out any more retaliatory attacks on Qatar's liquefied natural gas facilities. The U.S. president also said on his Truth Social platform the U.S. knew nothing about Israel's Wednesday attack on the South Pars field, which Iran shares with Qatar, and neither did Qatar. Trump's declared no more attacks will be made. By the way, I'll come back to that. He's lying. No more attacks will be made by Israel on the field unless Iran attacks Qatar's LNG, adding, in which instance the United States of America, with or without the help of consent of Israel, will massively blow up the entirety of the South Pars gas field in an amount of strength and power the Iran has never seen or witnessed before. I hope you like $25 a gallon gasoline. Okay, is there anything that tells you there is just no rudder on this ship at this point? I mean, it's, we don't want gas prices higher, so I'm going to blow up the entire gas field. While Trump said the U.S. knew nothing ahead of the South Pars attack, U.S. media have reported the White House was aware of it. I'll come back to that a little bit more here. Israel struck the South Pars field after Israeli forces killed the regime's intelligence minister and launched some of the most intense airstrikes in Beirut for decades. Iran later launched attacks on its Gulf neighbors' energy facilities. Qatar's massive Ras Laffan LNG facility and the Absan gas facility in Bab Field in the United Arab Emirates. The UAE said the Habshan and Bab field operations were shut down after interceptions over the sites, while Qatar officials said all fires at the Ras Laffani hub have been contained. Although the Qatari field, that natural gas field, they're already saying it's going to take at least 2 years to rebuild it. They're already saying that. Vessels are prepared to be hit by were apparently reported to be hit by unknown projectiles overnight in the Persian Gulf and the Gulf of Oman. So the UK Maritime Trade Operations. The crew all reported to be safe and well after the incident east of Ras Laffan, Qatar, while earlier received a report of another vessel being hit east of the UAE port as a projectile that caused a fire on board. We've just heard from Pete Hegseth. He reiterated the claim that that the U.S. president knew nothing about the attack on Iran's South Pars gas field. However, Reuters is reporting that Israel says its attack on the gas facilities was actually coordinated by the United States. Israel has not publicly acknowledged responsibility for the soft power's attack. On Wednesday night, Trump said on a social media post that Washington knew nothing about this particular attack, that Israel would not attack the gas field further until Iran again attacked Qatar. Well, Israel would not attack the gas field, with apparently U.S. consent. The three Israeli officials who spoke to Reuters on condition and anonymity said that Israel was not surprised by Trump's comments. They described the dynamic as similar to one that played out after Israel struck fuel depots in Iran several weeks ago. After those attacks, Pentagon Chief Pete Hegseth said that that particular case, they weren't our strikes. Hegseth, by the way, who is a drunken frat boy at this point, said that the Pentagon's reported $200 billion budget request for the Iran war funding could move. When I say drunken frat boy, listen to this statement from this knucklehead. It takes money to kill bad guys. That was Pete Hegseth. He said that at a press briefing when asked to confirm the figure, which the Washington Post first reported Wednesday evening. We're going back to Congress, and our folks there ensure us that we're properly funded, Hegseth said. $200 billion. And by the way, it's $1 billion more a day. I mean, we're spending obscene amounts of money right now to attack Iran, and there's no end in sight. The acknowledgement of the massive supplemental request is the offing could signal the U.S., which has spent roughly $1 billion per day, so in the war so far, is preparing for a longer fight. The administration previously floated 4 to 6 week timeline. Well, let's say 6 times 7. That would be, if I'm not mistaken, 56 would be the number. That would be $56 billion. So if you're talking about $200 billion, well, then you're talking about 4 times as long as 6 weeks, which would basically be all the way through summer. Hegg says on Thursday declined to say where the U.S. expects to achieve its objectives in Iran. He doesn't know. That dumbass doesn't know either. It will be at the president's choosing. Ultimately, here we are to say, hey, we've achieved what we needed on behalf of the American people to ensure our security, he said. So no time set on that, but we're very much on track. We have no objective, but it's on track. Trump asked the Oval Office later today, Tuesday, while the Pentagon is seeking so much money, he said, we're asking for a lot of reasons. He then boasted that the U.S. is well stocked with vast amounts of ammo. And the defense companies such as Lockheed Martin and Raytheon are building at a high level they've never seen before. So we're in very good shape, and we want to be in the best shape. He also told the reporters that he would not send U.S. troops into the region, but added, if it were certainly, if I were, I certainly wouldn't tell you. So, no, he'd probably tell it on Truth Social. Like, just FYI for the Iranians, we're going to be landing a whole bunch of troops right here on this beach at 10 p.m. tonight. You've been warned. You are not going to beat Iran through airstrikes. You are not. You can blow up their oil fields. You can do all this stuff. If you're going to have to defeat Iran, you're going to have to send in a ground invasion. Have you taken any time to study the geography of Iran? Have you? Let me explain one thing. So Iran and Iraq had a war for a long time. Iraq actually made some gains into Iran up in the very northern part of the Persian Gulf because that is their one bit of flat land they have bordering on another country right there. And they took it and they held it and they could not get any further into that country. And the reason why is the rest of the country is pretty much surrounded by incredibly difficult to get past mountains. Okay? It is a logistical nightmare to try to have to send in tanks and field artillery and all this stuff into that country because you're going to have to go through mountain passes. And the first thing you know about mountain passes, if you've seen Mad Max Fury Road, is you can cut them off pretty quickly if you need to. All right. These guys apparently haven't seen that. Who am I kidding? Of course, apparently that's probably running on full, a loop someplace at the Department of Defense. Go. When do I get to go shiny and chrome? I'm surprised we haven't seen Hegseth come on out there with chrome sprayed on his face. Here's the other problem with Iran. Iran's military structure is very different from ours, where we have a chain of command. The Iranian structure is designed to basically function if you take out the headquarters, if you take out the command structure, that the military is designed to run independently of each other. So you can bomb the Tehranian leadership out of existence, but you still have basically 40 armies spread across Iran who are all operating without the need to talk to a headquarters. Good luck. It's a mess. It's the Matt McNeil Show. Come see the trained chimp. It's the Matt McNeil Show, 3 to 5 p.m. weekday afternoons, right here on AM 950 KTNF, St. Louis Park, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Cafe Latte offers made-from-scratch soups, salads, sandwiches, and mouth-watering desserts.
So come check out their pizza and wine bar, or get a treat from the bakery made fresh daily. Plus, you can still do online ordering and takeout, along with gift cards. Just go to cafelatte.com and choose from their ever-changing selection of award-winning salads, sandwiches, and soups. Cafe Latte is located off Victoria and Grand and online at cafelatte.com.
Hey, it's Patrick for Zero Res. The end of winter is finally on the horizon, and you're going to start thinking about all that nasty crud that's built up in your home over these last few months. Call my cleaning heroes at Zero Res to help get you an early start on the spring cleanup. Zero Res removes winter's buildup and lingering odors, giving your home a fresh, spring-ready feel. This month, get Zero Resified from Minnesota's #1 carpet cleaner. Buy one room, get another free. Buy another room of carpet cleaning, get another room of carpet done for free. Get the picture? Also this month, get a free size upgrade on every whole home air duct cleaning package. Don't you love when you buy your favorite beverage and get a free size upgrade? That's what Zero Res is doing this month with their whole home air duct cleaning package. Start spring cleaning with a free upgrade and pay less for more fresh. Call Zero Res right now, 9520-RES, or go online to ZeroResMinnesota.com and say you want the AM 950 special. Backward or forward, spells the same. Zero Res.
When it comes to nutritional supplements, it can be hard to know what to trust. Announcing whattotrust.com. Whattotrust.com is a free app developed by Canamix, a Rochester, Minnesota company founded by scientists and clinicians from Harvard Medical School to help people make informed choices. It's time to stop guessing what scientifically proven means and start knowing what to trust. Go to whattotrust.com, enter product's name, and get science-based What to Trust scores. Companies do not pay to be listed on What to Trust. Whattotrust.com.
You're listening to AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota.
Step into Forts, a fort-building wonderland at Children's Theater Company through April 5th. Theatrical elements, evolving light and soundscapes, and towers of cardboard boxes set the scene for creative play. Build the tallest fort, the longest fort, or tons of cozy little forts. Design a castle or a neighborhood. Your imagination leads the way as you play freely and create shared stories together in real life. Forts at CTC through April 5th. Spring break weekdays available. Tickets at childrenstheater.org.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Brett Johnson. Look for sunny skies today with a high near 48. Tonight, cloudy with a low around 41. And Friday, partly sunny with a high around 54. Crooners is your go-to classic supper club, offering world-class entertainment and 4-star dining. Catch top artists in the main stage showroom, Dunsmore Jazz Room, or outdoors at the Belvedere under the stars. Or stop by Maggie's Lounge where there's no cover and no reservations. Visit croonersmn.com for details.
Broadcasting in the afternoon drive in the nighttime hours in Seattle, 11:50 a.m. KKNW in Chicago, WCPT 820, Chicago's Progressive Talk, and of course AM 950, the Progressive Voice of Minnesota and Minneapolis, St. Paul, as well as on BAM, the Blue Amp Media Network at blueamp.co on Substack. It is the Matt McNeil Show for your Thursday. All right, so I want to read this here because once again, there is a disturbing element which has kind of been lost here. The mediator for the peace talks before Trump started to attack, and now, as a matter of fact, there's also a guy from Britain as well who is part of this. We're both under the impression, yeah, we had peace, that Iran had committed to completely getting rid of all their uranium, that they were going to give it all up and they were going to be done with it. Writing for The Economist, Badar al-Sudani, the Omani minister who mediated the latest nuclear talks between the Iran and U.S., offered an unusual damning assessment of events leading up to the U.S. and Israel's bombing of Iran in the war that is triggered across the Middle East. It was shock, but not a surprise that on February 28th, just a few hours after the latest and most substantive talks, Israel and America launched an unlawful military strike against the peace that had been briefly appeared possible. Of all the Gulf countries, Oman was the most vocal and publicly proactive at trying to halt the U.S. attack on Iran, although other states also worked hard to find diplomatic solutions. According to Blusandi, the U.S. had been on the verge of a real deal in the nuclear negotiations held in Geneva in February, what he called substantive. I have talked a lot about how we got here because none of this makes any damn sense. Everyone within the intelligence community and the military community didn't think this was a good idea. No one thought there was going to be any great win out of this. And so I have speculated here on this show that I think that Benjamin Netanyahu is behind this. That Benjamin Netanyahu got wind that Iran and the U.S. actually had struck a deal and that Trump was going to get all the nuclear material out of there. And so there was a frantic full court press on Trump, which probably went something, I'm pure speculative, but probably went something like this. You know, they tried to assassinate you twice, Donald Trump. Are you going to be a little biatch and take it? Or are you going to show them who's the boss? You need to show them who's boss. They tried it once before. They're going to try it again. And if you don't strike back now, they're going to do it. I honestly think that that's exactly what did happen. And I want to go through a lot of things here, but I want to predicate this very bluntly. I support the right of Israel to exist. I support the right of Israel to exist. I always have. Always have. I remember the October 7th attacks in 2023. And if you listen to the show, and you can go back and listen to them, we have all the shows archived. I was one of the people saying no one deserved what happened to Israel. And frankly, they deserve to strike back. And I had no problem with them basically hitting back at Hamas in Palestine, in the Gaza Strip, to get some level of revenge and of course try to get some of their citizens back. I had no problem with that. And they never deserve that. And nor have they deserved the other attacks that have happened on them, whether it's Hamas, Hezbollah, or other agencies. No, that's just not. Israel has a right to exist. I also am very supportive, if you've ever heard me, I am very supportive of people being who they want to be. And frankly, I'm going to be blunt. As a person with a front row seat to Christianity, the Christians could learn a lot of things from the Jewish faith. Frankly, I'm going to be blunt about it. They seem to do a lot of things right over there. And it's the Jewish faith. I have the utmost respect for that. And 100% believe, as a person that was in Germany and I saw what the Germans had done during the Holocaust, these are people that just deserve to be able to live and worship how they want to. There should not be this intolerance on this planet. I have never been a fan of intolerance. Never. I say that because I already know what I'm about to say is going to lead some people to say I'm an anti-Semite or this, and it's not. No, it's not. We have to take a look at what is going on here. Once again, in October of 2023, after those attacks, Israel had the right, by all means, to strike back. But I want to look 2.5 years later down the road at where we are at right now. And that there is, and I'll start with what happened in the Gaza Strip and what's happened in Palestine with the Palestinians here, because I have been very much I've gone from the side of you guys. Okay, you guys got your pound of flesh. You got your vengeance. You got your revenge. And now I have been like a lot of people who have watched what's gone on in Palestine. And once again, going after Hamas. Hamas are bad people, understandably, but all Palestinians are not Hamas. And that seems to be the mentality of Benjamin Netanyahu, who is not Israel. It's Benjamin Netanyahu. is what I think could be the problem here. It's not Israel, because there's a lot of people in Israel that weren't exactly happy with how things went. You've gotten to the point where you're starving the Palestinians to death, and you're doing this because it seems like you're entering into an Israeli imperial stage where they're trying to take over land and take the Gaza Strip because they want to develop it into resort properties and stuff like that, I guess. That's at least what I'm kind of getting the impression of. And when I used to see food aid trucks being stopped and people in Israel taking the food off to prevent it from going to the starving Palestinians and smiling and laughing as they do that, I don't no. I don't know. That's just evil for evil's sake. And Netanyahu has said that his goal is to get all the Palestinians out of the Gaza and take it over. He's said that. He wants to ship them to Saudi Arabia or something like that. Then there is this, and this is no big deal. This is a guy on Substack. He's an investigative reporter. And he's put out a post here, and I want to read through this. And this is in regards to what we have going on right now with Iran. And it makes you step back a little bit and realize we might have people that are in our government who are putting Israel above the United States. And that, I love Ireland. I had Dermot Flanagan on before. I love Ireland. Love it with a passion. I do not put Ireland above the United States. Love Canada. Love Canada. I would not put Canada above the United States. I'm embarrassed by my president. I'm embarrassed by his decisions, but I love my country. I think we are looking at certain members of the Trump administration whose goal is Israel first, then the United States. And that explains a lot about what the freaking hell is going on right now. And I'm very concerned about this. The man the United States sent to negotiate peace with Iran carried a souvenir in his pocket from the Israeli assassination operation, a custom pager gifted to Steve Witkoff by Benjamin Netanyahu and senior Mossad officials, a memento of the day that Israel remotely detonated thousands of devices on the bodies of Hezbollah members across Lebanon. He brought it to the table, to the peace negotiating table in Geneva. Before Witkoff sat down with the Iranians, he flew to Israel, where Netanyahu and senior Israeli defense officials briefed him on Iran's nuclear program, then flew directly to Geneva and took a seat across from the Iranian negotiators. Once again, the U.S. peace negotiator went to Israel first and got his information from them. Witkoff and his co-negotiator, Jared Kushner, were on the phone with Netanyahu and the director of Mossad almost every single day while the Iranians sat across the table waiting for that deal that was never coming. Kushner hadn't come to this as a stranger. When Netanyahu visited New York over the years, he slept in Jared Kushner's bedroom, and Jared had moved to the basement. The man now sitting across from Iran's negotiator on behalf of the United States had grown up in the same house as the man who said destroying Iran was a dream he had carried for 40 years. Benjamin Netanyahu, his goal with Iran is the death of 92 million Iranians. That is his goal. He has stated it very clearly. He wants the entire population of Iran taken out. And he knows he can't do that, so he's trying to get the United States to do it for him. And by placing people who seem to be more loyal to Israel than the United States, we are now on this path to which is going to lead to hundreds of thousands of dead American soldiers and trillions of dollars worth of cost, with no guarantee we'll actually succeed. Going back to this article, Kushner came to the Geneva meeting with $2 billion, 99% of it from Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and the UAE, with the Senate Finance Committee calculating he would collect $137 million from Saudi fees in August of 2026, the precise month those contracts came due, and Riyadh could pull everything back. The Crown Prince, whose government was funding Kushner, was making multiple private calls to Trump, urging him to bomb Iran. So now we got word the Saudis were actually actively encouraging Trump to attack Iran, while standing in front of a camera telling Iran's president that Saudi oil would never be used against them. He was financing the negotiator and lobbying of the war at the same time. In February 2026, the talks reached something real. Iran offered to surrender its entire enriched uranium stockpile, every kilogram, in exchange for a deal. They were going to give up their entire program. Success. Trump had to win. Iran's foreign minister called the progress historic. Oman's foreign minister confirmed Iran had agreed to zero enrichment and full IAEA verification. It was over at that point. Britain sent its national security advisor to the final Geneva round with his own nuclear expert. When they walked out, they believed the deal was genuine, that it was not Iran's final offer, and that the next round was coming. They were even willing to make more concessions. The United States brought no nuclear expert to any round of the nuclear. It was Witkoff and Jared Kushner, and that was it. Both of whom seem to have been placing Israeli priorities over the United States priorities. When Witkoff briefed reporters and congressional staff on why the talks had failed, the Arms Control Association obtained recordings and transcripts. He was surprised Iran produces centrifuges, though it has done that for decades. He called their technology among the most advanced in the world, which it is not. He looked at Tehran's research reactor fuel stockpile and told people it was weapons preparation. It was not. This is the man that trusted to read Iran's intentions across the negotiating table. He's basically reading them the Israeli intelligence they had put out there that he was getting. That was the intelligence. He was actually carrying Israel's, Netanyahu's game plan to these meetings. Iran's offer that every kilogram of enriched uranium could go away should be their deal. Witkoff characterized to Trump as Iran bragging about having enough material for 11 bombs. British and Omani diplomats confirmed the other accord that actually had said, we walked in carrying a pager that celebrated killing, flew there straight from Netanyahu's briefing. And when Iran extended its hand, he told the president it was a threat. The bombs fell in the morning. Witkoff called Trump and said diplomacy had failed over a country that had just offered to surrender everything that they were being bombed for. The week before they fell, the National Intelligence Council completed a classified assessment concluding that even a large-scale assault was unlikely to produce regime change, that the IRGC would consolidate power, that no opposition existed to fill the vacuum. It was a collective judgment that all 18 American intelligence agencies finished and sitting on the table before the first bomb fell. This is the truth. This is what happened. Iran had agreed to surrender, and we bombed them. So why? Why, if Trump had finally his peace plan in place, his peace prize was there, why did he do this? Because Benjamin Netanyahu did not want peace. And he knows the Israelis cannot take Iran, so he looked for a dupe to do his bidding for him, and seems to have cultivated senior members of the administration who are more loyal to Benjamin Netanyahu than they are to the United States of America. And now we are in a war that's costing us $1 billion a day that there is no coming out of without some attempt, I guess, at a land game. Because at this point, unless you invade, you can drop every bomb you've got. You can drop every bomb that can be built. You are going to have to go in there because they're going to keep shooting at these ships in the Strait of Hormuz, and they will choke point all the oil. And now they don't really have any other reason to stop doing what they're doing. This is an ideal situation for Benjamin Netanyahu, and it's clear that Netanyahu has been in control the entire time. It's the Matt McNeil Show.
Step into Forts, a fort-building wonderland at Children's Theater Company through April 5th. Theatrical elements, evolving light and soundscapes, and towers of cardboard boxes set the scene for creative play. Build the tallest fort, the longest fort, or tons of cozy little forts. Design a castle or a neighborhood. Your imagination leads the way as you play freely and create shared stories together in real life. Forts at CTC through April 5th. Spring break weekdays available. Tickets at childrenstheater.org.
Hey, it's Tom Hartman from my friends at All Energy Solar, and I want to talk about something most people don't consider until it's too late. Energy independence isn't just about saving money. It's also about what happens when the grid goes down. Severe weather, aging infrastructure, unexpected outages, they happen, and when they do, most homes go dark. But not homes with solar and battery backup from All Energy Solar. Here's what makes it work. Solar panels charge the battery during the day, so when a storm hits or the grid fails, your home stays powered. Lights, refrigerator, medical equipment, whatever matters most keeps running. All Energy Solar is certified by both Tesla and Enphase for battery storage and has been installing complete solar plus battery systems since 2009. Minnesota battery rebates are also available. Don't wait for the next outage to wish you had acted. Visit allenergysolar.com or call 800-620-3370 for your free evaluation today.
Hey, Francois, I have a gift for you to celebrate National Macaroons Day on March 20th.
Bonjour Laura, c'est très gentil.
It's a make-your-own macaroon kit.
Mais pourquoi j'ai les macarons de Nicolette?
I know you love Nicolette's. Now you can see what it's like to make your own.
Mais pourquoi j'ai les macarons de Nicolette?
Do you want to try making macaroons?
Mais pourquoi j'ai les macarons de Nicolette?
Oh, well, at least I'll have a gift receipt.
Mais j'ai un cadeau pour toi pour la fête des macarons.
A gift for me? Is it a gift card from nicolettesmacaroons.com?
Oui, je t'en prie, bon appétit.
Hi, I'm Mary T. Caring for others runs deep in my family. My grandmother, Rosa, was a nurse who cared for people in their homes more than a century ago. Inspired by her compassion, my mother, Margaret, and I founded the Mary T. family of companies nearly 50 years ago. Today, we continue that legacy across Minnesota, Wisconsin, Maryland, and Arizona, providing senior living, assisted living with memory care, home health, hospice care, rental housing, and support for people with disabilities. Each service is personal, creative, and focuses on the unique needs of those we serve. We also believe in joy and community, which is why we opened Crooner Supper Club in Fridley, a place to celebrate life with music, laughter, and connection. At Mary T., we're proud to be a Minnesota family company rooted in compassion, inclusion, and respect, and proud supporters of AM 950 and the values that this station represents. Visit MaryTinc.com to learn more.
Congratulations to Mary T, named one of the most admired CEOs of 2026 by the Minneapolis-St. Paul Business Journal.
It is the Matt McNeil Show. We know some of this is true. Rubio was out there the first day saying this was going to be an Israeli action. We knew that it would precipitate an attack against American forces. We knew that if we didn't preemptively go after them, we first would suffer higher casualty rates. He then walked it back, said wasn't serious. The Pentagon had privately told Congress the day before Iran was not planning to attack anyone unless they were struck first. A sitting U.S. senator had flown to Israel, sat with Israeli intelligence, flown back to Washington, and then coached Netanyahu on how to frame the war to Trump. I'm going to guess that it might have been Lindsey Graham. I'm going to take a guess it was Lindsey Graham. So we have people, Witkoff and the senator and Jared Kushner, who are acting as agents of our administration, of this country's leadership, who clearly seem to be thinking of Benjamin Netanyahu over all of us. And once again, I believe Israel should be Israel. I 100% believe in that. But, and once again, if you go back to October of 2023, Israel had a right to strike back against Hamas. But I want you to see where they're at 2.5 years later. Like I said, the Gaza Strip, they're trying to wipe out all the Palestinians and starve them to death in cruel and horrible way. And they're basically taking all their land and all their stuff and saying it's ours now. There is one of the things which has been going on, which is not getting any coverage, is the fact that there have been 9 U.S. citizens killed in the West Bank by these settlers who are basically vigilantes, usually with Israeli forces standing by watching them kill them. They'll go into somebody's house and just say, it's our house now, and kill the people inside of it. More than 30 U.S. senators have signed a letter demanding the Trump administration open an independent investigation into the February killing of a 19-year-old American in the occupied West Bank, the 9th U.S. citizen killed by Israeli soldiers or settlers since 2022. This has become a consistent pattern in which Americans are being killed in the West Bank by settlers or by the Israeli Defense Forces without justice or accountability despite promises from U.S. officials. Yeah, the Israelis think so little of us that they're just killing U.S. citizens, and no one is saying this is wrong. That's bad. Lebanon, take a look at what's going on in Lebanon. Once again, and the Lebanese do not like Hezbollah. They themselves are not very happy with Hezbollah, and they've been very vocal about this. But what I'm seeing there doesn't seem to be going after Hezbollah so much as going after, once again, their imperial stage. It looks like they're trying to take the southern part of Lebanon. More than 1,000 people have been killed in intensified Israeli attacks across Lebanon, according to local authorities. The Lebanese Ministry of Health said on Thursday that the Israeli attacks have killed 1,001 people in Lebanon, including 79 women, 118 children, and 40 healthcare workers. More than 2,584 have been injured. Israeli attacks on Lebanon intensified in early March after Lebanese armed Hezbollah launched rockets into northern Israel in response to the killing of the supreme leader of Iran on February 28th. And the bombardments forced more than 1 million people out of their homes across the country. And a strike on the Lebanese power facilities has pretty much wiped out power for the entire southern part of Lebanon right now. On top of that, you got Mike Huckabee, who went on Tucker Carlson and suggested Israel has a biblical right to take over the Middle East. Mike Huckabee clearly has placed Israel above the United States. And some of these guys have done it, like Huckabee, he's done it because they're religious extremists who feel as if, the second coming is going to come with Israel there. And so he wants a certain setup there because their fan fiction of Christianity that was created in the 1800s dictates a certain narrative. And yeah. And on top of that, I should mention the agents that want to promote Israel over the United States are very active in our politics. I mean, I've been paying attention to the spending that happened in Illinois with AIPAC. They went after multiple people in these races. They got kind of mixed results. And they're very much against Kadaba Ghazaleh. But one of the things that was interesting is the AIPAC apparently created a super PAC called Chicago Progressive Partnership, put $100,000 in it in media advertising supporting Bushra Amawala, who is a fierce critic of Israel. So they were actually running money in ads for a very anti-Israel candidate to try to steer away votes from the other candidates. This is AIPAC doing this. And they took some victory laps after this election, patting themselves on the back, saying, we are dictating who the American people are electing into political office. And this spending, the AIPAC spent a lot of money, and there should be a question of where this money is coming from, because this money is going and directly affecting, it is basically going to make sure that candidates that get elected on the Democratic side seem to be in that Israel over the United States mantra. Netanyahu does have an imperial mentality. He does want to take over the Gaza Strip. He does want to take over parts of Lebanon. He probably wants to go into Syria, maybe even take Jordan, maybe take back the Sinai. He's very vocally said he wants to annihilate all of Iran. If you've got that guy in charge of Israel, we should not be putting Israel above the United States. We shouldn't be doing that anyway. If you're a United States citizen, United States should matter first, right? And if you looked at this war through that filter, you would have immediately seen that this was not a good idea for the United States of America, especially when, I want to repeat, we had won. Trump had gotten them to give up their entire nuclear armaments. It was over. But Israel, realizing they had one chance, basically sent in the full court press, brought in their American officials who place Israel over the United States, and convinced Trump to go and do something insanely stupid, which will cost us trillions and thousands of American soldiers. And there is no guarantee we are even going to get close to a victory. I support Israel as a country to exist, but I do not support this. This is getting out of freaking control. Chicago, Seattle, talk to you tomorrow. Minneapolis, St. Paul, bam, hour 2 up next.
Greg Bakken here. If you love great food as much as I do, Eat Local Minnesota is your guide to some truly amazing spots for a fantastic meal. Step back in time and experience classic nightlife at Crooner Supper Club, 4-star drinks and entertainment all in one place. Enjoy incredible performances on the main stage in the Dunsmore Jazz Room. You can even unwind in Maggie's Lounge. Find your perfect concert experience at croonersmn.com. Crooner Supper Club, where old school charm meets modern nightlife. Or perhaps something more casual at a Roseville staple. Mavericks Row Roast Beef in Roseville is the Twin Cities go-to for mouth-watering roast beef sandwiches, but that's just the beginning. Try their Philly steak, turkey bacon avocado, BLT, crispy chicken, fish brisket, or pulled pork. Every bite is packed with flavor. Don't miss this local favorite. See the full menu at mavericksbeef.com. Your taste buds will thank you. These are just a couple of great restaurants Minnesota has to offer. I'll be sharing more with you soon. And remember, when you eat local, Minnesota.
The Tom Hartman Show. Now, that's Smart Radio, AM 950, KTNF, St. Louis Park, Minneapolis, St. Paul, the progressive voice of Minnesota.
Four 3067 or arrayinsurance.com. Array Insurance, working hard for you.
Next Chapter Booksellers is the perfect destination for indoor winter activities. Cozy up with a book. They have all the bestsellers and new releases. Plus, their booksellers are great at making recommendations. Beyond books, enjoy mind-bending puzzles and family fun board games for those snowy days. And don't miss Next Chapter's in-store events, book clubs, author signings, and children's story time. So stay busy this winter with Next Chapter Booksellers off Snelling and Grand in St. Paul. More at nextchapterbooksellers.com.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Brett Johnson. Look for sunny skies today with a high near 48. Tonight, cloudy with a low around 41. And Friday, partly sunny with a high around 54. Dinosaur World is taking over Children's Theater Company for an immersive tour where you can feel the roar. Get ready to face off against a massive T-Rex and see what it feels like to get sneezed on by a Triceratops at Dinosaur World. Dinosaur World runs through April 5th, and you can find tickets and more info at childrenstheater.org.
Portions of the following program may be pre-recorded.
Hour number 2 of the show here on your Thursday. Matt and Brett here. Now, Brett, as I was going on and talking about this, about Netanyahu and the fact that we right now seem to have, and once again, I fully believe Israel has a right to exist. They should not be attacked. They just should not be. But right now, Netanyahu has got that country going in a very disturbing path. And it seems like they were the ones that basically convinced Trump to attack Iran, even though Iran was apparently ready to give up everything to appease the United States. And that's crazy. You said, well, I'm saying this, and once again, I know there are some people out there that are going to say, "Oh, Matt, you're a bigot." That's no. Once again, I believe Israel should exist, and the Jewish people are beautiful people, and I once again, I think the Christians can learn a lot from the Jewish people, frankly, if you want to be honest. But it's just, this is wrong, and somebody tricked Trump into doing this. And when we're looking at $1 billion a day, we're looking at years of war now. Looking ahead at this and in mass casualty rates, this isn't good. You saying, as I was saying that, Netanyahu seemed to actually go online and validate my point, correct?
Yeah, this is from CNBC, where he said that meaningful regime change will still require a ground component, and you don't want to replace one Ayatollah with another. You don't want to replace Hitler with Hitler.
So basically he's saying, hey, United States, we're smart enough to not to be dumb enough to send our troops in there. But you guys, you need to be dumb enough to send your troops in there for our cause. I have said this for years. Benjamin Netanyahu will gleefully step on the back of all of our dead soldiers to put his flag in the heart of Tehran. And we have it's clear right now, there are a lot of people within the Trump administration whose hierarchy chart goes Israel, then the United States. And that's not good for us, because basically now American kids, American men and women are going to have to go over and die for Benjamin Netanyahu's cause. And I am not for that at this point. Well, I was not for it when it started. And now I find out that Iran had basically conceded everything. And it just is like, what is going on? Well, the only thing that makes sense is that Netanyahu, realizing that he did not want the United States to get peace, said, well, we're going to attack anyway, so you might as well go with us. What a mess. What an absolute mess. What an absolute mess. Like I said, I mean, call me wacky crazy. Call me if the liberal patriot. I want to see Ireland succeed, and England succeed, and Germany succeed, and Canada succeed, and Mexico succeed. I want to see the Japanese succeed. I want to see all these countries. I want to see Israel succeed. But I don't want to place any of those countries over the United States. Because when you do that, well, you get into a bad position. And Israel will sit there and watch our soldiers die and say, hey, you're doing a great job. Because they know that they know what the cost of this war is going to really be. 952-946-6205, 952-946-6205. Oi, oi, oi. We do have, I want to mention, I've got some tickets to give away here a little bit later on. We have this is the play, Abuelita. Abuelita is playing over at the Capri. It's playing this weekend and next weekend. I've got a pair of tickets to go see this. It's a play about Abuelita, the white woman from Iowa who brings her mixed-race grandson to experience the culture of his unknown father. And so it sounds like they go to New York. It's a very interesting play over the Capri Theater. Abuelita is the play, and I've got tickets to give away a little bit later on, so listen for your chance to win. It is also, I should mention, the least productive work day of the entire year. These 2 days are just no one pays attention because we're knee-deep into NCAA basketball. Duke got scared, man. The 116 matchup with Siena, they were up. How much was Siena up at half? Was it 11 points?
11 points.
The 16 seed. Duke did finally figure out their issues and got it right. 71. They did win 71 there. For Wisconsin fans, including my two daughters who are down in Madison right now, they're not happy because the 12 seed knocked off number 5 Wisconsin. Any other major upsets? I don't count the 8-9 games. Ohio State lost to TCU in an 8-9 game. But, yeah, no, so far, no other major upsets so far, although McNeil is staying with Vanderbilt pretty tight. And, yeah, we'll have to see. Hawaii, Arkansas going on. There's so many games going on. If I would have lost Duke, that would have been my bracket because I have Duke winning the whole thing. If Duke would have lost, that would yeah. But I mean, I missed a money-making opportunity. I could say, hey, pay me a few bucks and I won't pick your team because if I pick your team, they're not going to go too far in the NCAA bracket. My bracket usually looks like, yeah, it's a mess. It's a mess by the time I get to
make it through one weekend.
Nope, not usually.
The first weekend gets you.
Well, you know the story, and I've talked about this for all the people on the Blue Ant Media Network. Back in, this was, and I can tell you it was 1994, the March Madness 1994, and I can tell you this because I had graduated from broadcasting school in 93. I went to Beloit, Wisconsin, and I met my wife down there, and we were at a sports bar, a bad one in Beloit, Wisconsin. And the games were on, and they said, would you like to fill out a bracket? And this was kind of in the, people really didn't do that much of it. It was not online. It was a piece of paper. And so I grabbed one. I paid my buck into it, and I won it. And not only did I win it, but everyone thought I was like college basketball master because I only missed like 4 games on that entire bracket. I was looking at it like, this is crazy, man. And yeah, I won the pot and by a mile. No one else was even close. I'm never going to get a sniff of that again, man. That was my one time, 1994. It is 32 years later, and I think the best I've ever had is I think I've had 3 Final Four teams left, but then I got everything wrong. Nothing happened after that. So, who's your winner this year?
I didn't do one this year.
You see, you're saner than I am.
Yeah,
you're saner than.
Done on the past couple, I decided I'm not going to win it, so not trying it this year.
Now, now they know this. They're going to come in with the marketed advertising for gambling for you on everything.
Oh yeah, somehow it's crazy how that works. No, it totally will. Yeah, I'll get FanDuel and everything else coming.
You're alone and have no friends. Why not make your financial situation a little bit more unstable by placing some ill-advised bets on the NCAA?
Why don't you bet whether you'll sign up for the app too? We can make a wager for that within the app.
This is the crazy world we live in, man. When you get to a world through conservative policies, you've created a world where there's so little hope that everyone's they're hoping they can be the big wheeler dealer in gambling, and then they collapse. And just try to find your happy place, okay? Just stay away from all that stuff and try to find your happy place. The happy place could be happy hour. Apparently, people are upset. The elderly, they're at the grandparents' happy hour bill.
The what?
The grandparents' happy hour bill.
This is
a real bill. It's been over at the Minnesota State Capitol. Happy hour shouldn't have an age limit. At least it should. So kids, you should not. You should be over a certain age. I think you want to rethink that.
The drink specials for the
Hey, little Billy, you want a fireball? There, no. At least that's according to Anita LeBrun, the resident of the Champlain Base, a Mirek Choice assisted living facility. LeBrun recently testified before legislators at the Minnesota State Capitol in support of the Grandparents' Happy Hour bill, which will let nursing homes and assisted living facilities serve alcohol to residents and their guests during activities and events State law currently prohibits it. It does?
That surprises me.
That does. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
as long as it's not, we got to do a medical procedure. So here's a bottle of Jack and a stick to bite on. I'm okay with it. By the way, if we actually have a healthcare facility like that, we should probably shut them down. I'm just going to say it. Just because we're older and we live in assisted living doesn't mean we should have fewer freedoms than anyone else. I don't think you have the freedoms. It just is, if you can't get around, it becomes much more difficult. Although a lot of places have deliverable booze nowadays. But no, I mean, I'll tell you what, when I get to the end of the story, I'll give you my pluses and minuses. The issue came to light after AmeriCare went looking to host a reception for a recently completed renovation. According to the Minnesota House Session Daily, leadership learned that they weren't able to serve alcohol without a permit. Amira Choice Executive Director Abby Dahl also testified before legislators, saying they have safeguards in place to monitor medication interactions, document residents' choices, and supervise residents with impaired judgment. Okay. The bill was ultimately added to as an amendment to the Omnibus Liquor Policy Bill, which has now been sent to the House floor. There's a chance this sucker could get through. Like I said, I got pluses and minuses here. If approved, nursing homes and assisted living facilities would still have to abide by local and state liquor laws. Seniors would only be allowed to consume alcohol at activities or events that are resident focused. Now, I want to get back to this line here because, all right, I'll go with the negatives first. Shall I do that? I'll do the negatives first. I will say that the rise in alcoholism in the elderly, it's been something that's noted. Now, is it a rise or it's just we're paying attention to it more? I'm not sure. I'm not an expert on that, but you do have these problems. Now, that being said, I'm going to go once again. Abby Dahl said this. This is the woman, the executive director. They have safeguards in place to monitor medication interactions, document resident choices, and supervise residents with impaired judgment. Now, if I go to a bar, right, bartender, one of those, document resident choices. They can look at someone saying, I'm sorry, sir, you shouldn't be having another one. You've had too many to drink. We have that safeguard in place, so that carries over. But the other two, monitor medical interactions. A bartender doesn't have to say, what medications are you taking before they get you, a grain belt. That's not generally something they have to worry about. Also, supervise residents with impaired judgment. Now, we could say that the bartender probably does have some level of that because you do get people who are somewhat inebriated. But that being said, this is a different kind of impaired judgment. This isn't because the alcohol, this is because they might have mental health issues. And I don't know. Okay, so these are the negatives. I'm going to give the positive. I'm not Maddie Downer. I'm going to give you the ones other side of this here too. I have spent a lot of time especially when I was working in small town radio, going to some of the biggest sponsors of some of the events we had were the nursing homes, the senior care, the Grundy Center senior living facility sponsored all the Grundy Center high school sports and all that stuff. Hardin County Senior Center, they did that. This is when I was down in Iowa. They always did, and it was great because that was one of the things that brought the community together. They'd put the game on the radio and they'd listen to the basketball game or the football game, and it was always big fun and there was good times and that sort of thing. It's how it did. We did it. So I had been in these facilities a lot of times where it's somewhat depressing, where there seemed to be a lot of people who were very sad. And there wasn't a lot of interaction. And so, yeah, part of me does sort of feel as if you can get people out of their, whether it's their apartments or their rooms, depending on what kind of facility you're looking at, and they want to have a little bit of something and it's not a danger to their medical condition or violates the medications that they have, is it really a bad thing? And I would hope that if all of a sudden they see Elwyn over there starting to chug back the bottle of Jack, they'd say, well, okay, let's take Elwyn back. Elwyn's going to go take a nap for a little bit. I would hope that they would do that. I would hope that it could be. I mean, and so if you can have a situation where, sometimes senior centers, sometimes these facilities are not the most uplifting places. And so if you can have a little bit of community that comes in there, and frankly, for a lot of people who are in these facilities, that was community. I mean, we bought our house and there was a bar in the basement when we bought our house, a plywood bar. It was kind of nice too. And we were told, yeah, there was like 4 neighbors in the neighborhood that all had bars, and they would have once a week, there'd be kind of a roving, party that would go from house to house, and they'd serve alcohol, and they'd, get together and have fun. And there you go. So that was a bit of community. I don't really have a problem with them wanting to revisit that in some capacity. Like I said, though, I think that you need to be careful with this, because the last thing you need is all of a sudden one senior who shouldn't have been drinking because of the medications that they're taking, all of a sudden having a horrific interaction, and yeah, it goes south real fast. So I really do be careful if this goes through, but why not? Why not? If it puts somebody, if you're 85 years old, God bless you, you've lived a wonderful life as it is. If you having a little bit of a little sniff of something on the side, and it puts a smile on your face, you've earned it at that point. Just be careful, all right? 952-946-6205, 952-946-6205. We'll take a break. Come on back. It is the Matt McNeil Show here on the Thursday.
We about to
Families, get ready for Dinosaur World Live, a thrilling interactive show at Children's Theater Company, March 3rd through April 5th. This hit show is the perfect blend of science, storytelling, and spectacular live theater. These remarkably lifelike dinosaurs move, they roar, and yes, the mighty T-Rex towers before your eyes. This is edge-of-your-seat excitement, followed by the chance to meet a dinosaur up close. Dinosaur World Live opens March 3rd. Tickets at childrenstheater.org.
Hey, it's Tom Hartman, and here's a thought I keep coming back to. Your utility company raised its rates last year. It'll raise them next year and the year after that. And you have no vote, no say, and no alternative, unless you generate your own power. That's what solar makes possible for your home and your business. All Energy Solar has been helping homeowners and commercial operators take back control of their energy since 2009. They design every system specifically for you, your property, your usage, your goals. No cookie-cutter solutions, no pressure, just honest answers and expert work. Minnesota homeowners also benefit from sales tax, property tax exemptions, and some local incentives, depending on where you live. And commercial customers can still get access to the 30% federal investment tax credit through 2027. But you have to act soon. The sun shows up every day and asks nothing in return. All Energy Solar helps you capture it. Visit allenergysolar.com or call 800-620-3370 for your free evaluation today.
Greg Bakken here. If you're craving something delicious, Eat Local Minnesota is here to spotlight amazing local places you're going to want to try right away. Step back in time and experience classic nightlife at Crooner's Supper Club, 4-star drinks and entertainment all in one place. Enjoy incredible performances on the main stage in the Dunsmore Jazz Room. You can even unwind in Maggie's Lounge. Find your perfect concert experience at croonersmn.com. Crooner's Supper Club, where old school charm meets modern nightlife. Or how about a delicious French dessert? Discover macarons like you've never tasted before at Nicolette Macarons in Plymouth. Pick up a box of elegant French macarons conveniently located off Highway 169. Perfect for gifts, corporate events, or just for yourself. Stop in and order online at nicolettesmacarons.com. These are just a couple of great restaurants Minnesota has to offer. I'll be sharing more with you soon. And remember, when you eat local, Minnesota.
This is Alex Knorr from Buzz Cut Mowing, a young, hardworking entrepreneur serving the Southwest Metro with affordable lawn care. I take the hard work off your plate with weekly mowing. I also offer leaf cleanups, aeration, dethatching, tree trimming, and mulch installation. I'll keep your lawn beautiful so you can enjoy your weekends with the people who matter most. Visit buzzcutmowingmn.com. That's buzzcutmowingmn.com.
It is the Matt McNeil Show. Okay, I'm going to veer off in a different direction because this one just broke, and I'm bringing this up because I just watched the Oscars on Sunday night, and the main show they were advertising during the Oscars was The Bachelorette. Well, apparently they pulled the entire season. That season will not air. A fallout between Taylor Frankie Paul and Dakota Mortensen continues to unfold. The ABC reality series, which is set to premiere on Sunday, has been removed from the schedule, and the network has not indicated whether it will air a later date. In light of the newly released video that surfaced today, we have made a decision to not move forward with the new season of The Bachelorette at this time, and our focus is on supporting the family, said a spokesperson for Disney Entertainment. The news comes shortly after TMZ published a video from 2023 fight between Paul and Mortensen, an incident that appears to be the same one that led to Paul's arrest at the time. The footage is separate from the alleged domestic dispute in February that prompted the current investigation. Authorities in Utah have confirmed there is an active domestic violence investigation involving the former couple who share a 2-year-old son named Ever. Okay. The Draper City Police Department said the officers made contact with both parties on February 24th and 25th, that the allegations have been made in both directions. News of the February incident surfaced Saturday night shortly after Paul attended the Oscars, and just 1 week before her season of The Bachelorette was set to premiere. Officials have declined to release further details while the case remains open. So apparently the allegation is she was abusing the other person. So what is kind of surprising is that is one of their, that's not their top show, is it? Is The Bachelor, or is the dance?
That's got to be one of their top shows.
Dancing with the Stars or Bachelor?
Yeah, Dancing with the Stars. I bet's probably higher than that.
Probably their best show then, or one of their best shows. This airs in 3 days and it's gone. They're gonna yank it. I get it. Everyone wants to be on the show, wants to be a celebrity, but yeah, I don't know. Is part of it am I wrong to kind of speculate, considering the popularity of some of these reality dating shows where it's Blank Island? It's like Dim Bulb having sex island is, we have a lot of those where there are people who should not be in charge of a spoon are being sent to a tropical destination with a bunch of drinks and how many of the other people can you have sex with? And that's the thing. Is the desire to keep up with them and keep them from gaining traction on the audience leading ABC to not filter the contestants well enough? Because like I say, TMZ got this video and TMZ does what TMZ does, but you knew this is okay. The Oscars were just last weekend. You knew apparently in late February, before you had her out there saying, I can't wait for my next season to begin next weekend, that there is apparently an active investigation of assault, which led to her arrest. It sounds like there might be some mental health issues to say. And there's abuse issues here. And I'm not trying to down the abuse is obviously the clear problem. And there's a child involved. They're definitely going to need to recalibrate here. As a matter of fact, speaking of which, I'm going to recalibrate myself. Let's take a break right now. We'll come on back. I don't want to go into other things from this. Okay. We'll come back and do something else. It's the Matt McNeil Show.
History Theater brings you Hungry Like the Wolf, a fresh comedy that weaves together history, humor, and meaningful social themes, all set against a memorable 80s backdrop with a love for Duran Duran. This lively production dives into labor rights and gender equity, featuring a cast of eccentric and bold characters. Get ready for an experience like no other at History Theater. Catch the exciting performances from March 19th to April 12th at the History Theater in downtown St. Paul. Grab your tickets today at historytheater.com.
Hey, it's Patrick for Zero Res. The end of winter is finally on the horizon, and you're going to start thinking about all that nasty crud that's built up in your home over these last few months. Call my cleaning heroes at Zero Res to help get you an early start on the spring cleanup. Zero Res removes winter's buildup and lingering odors, giving your home a fresh, spring-ready feel. This month, get Zero Resified from Minnesota's #1 carpet cleaner. Buy one room, get another free. Buy another room of carpet cleaning, get another room of carpet done for free. Get the picture? Also this month, get a free size upgrade on every whole home air duct cleaning package. Don't you love when you buy your favorite beverage and get a free size upgrade? That's what Zero Res is doing this month with their whole home air duct cleaning package. Start spring cleaning with a free upgrade and pay less for more fresh. Call Zero Res right now, 952-ZERO-RES, or go online to ZeroResMinnesota.com and say you want the AM 950 special. Backward or forward spells the same. Zero Res.
Crooners is a classic supper club with a wide range of entertainment. Make your reservations for a parade of international, national, and local artists in the main stage showroom, the intimate Dunsmore Jazz Room, or outdoors at the seasonal Belvedere Under the Stars space. Or enjoy Maggie's Piano Lounge. Enjoy 4-star food and drinks with first-class supper club service. What are you waiting for? Go to croonersmn.com for more information and schedule. That's croonersmn.com.
Winter reading, losing yourself under a blanket with the fireplace blazing away while submerging yourself in a book and trying to finish just one more page? Winter nights are the perfect time to read, and that's where Next Chapter Booksellers can help. They're independently owned and have all the bestsellers and new releases. Not sure what to get? Their friendly booksellers are great at recommendations. That's your winter reading headquarters. Next Chapter Booksellers off Snelling and Grand. More at nextchapterbooksellers.com.
Prime Productions is thrilled to bring the world premiere of Abuelita by Nathan Youngerberg to the Capri Theater March 14th through the 29th. A grandmother from Iowa brings her grandson to meet his Puerto Rican relatives in sweltering New York, 1993. Tabby's world is transformed with music, dancing, and community. Directed by Shay Cage. Pay-as-you-are tickets can be purchased at primeprods.org. That's spelled prime, P-R-O-D-S.org.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Brett Johnson. Look for cloudy skies tonight with a low around 41, Friday partly sunny with a high near 54, and Saturday partly sunny with a high around 68. Dinosaur World is taking over Children's Theater Company for an immersive tour where you can feel the roar. Get ready to face off against a massive T-Rex and see what it feels like to get sneezed on by a Triceratops at Dinosaur World. Dinosaur World runs through April 5th, and you can find tickets and more info at childrenstheater.org.
ATNF AM 950, St. Louis Park, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Broadcasting on the Blue Amp Media Network. On Substack, as well as AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota in Minneapolis, St. Paul. It is the Matt McNeil Show. Abuelita is the show that's airing over at the Capri Theater. I've got a pair of tickets to go see this. It is going to be going on at the Capri Theater. Your choice. It's your choice. You can go see the 7:30 show on Friday, the 7:30 show on Saturday, or the 2 p.m. show on Sunday. Your choice. 952-946-6205. 952-946-6205. Abuelita over the Capri Theater. Your choice on a Friday, a Saturday, or Sunday show. And once again, a fantastic little performance where a white woman from Iowa brings her grandson to experience the culture in New York City of his Puerto Rican father. So there you go. Abuelita is over at the Capri Theater Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Your call on the tickets, 952-946-6205, 952-946-6205. Calling number 5. Calling number 5, you get the tickets. Enjoy. Our gift to you. Caller number 5. You can enjoy that. We love giving away theater tickets here. Absolutely do. 952-946-6205, 952-946-6205. So, yeah, I got sidetracked with that the Bachelorette stuff. But I was not, I mean, if I had to try to get into any other news, there have been such bad whiplash. I took the break. So, because I got to get into a lot of other things, including some very unfortunately sad news. The family of 5-year-old Liam Caneo Ramos could be deported after the asylum claim was ended by an immigration judge on Wednesday. They reported the story of the family's attorney, Danielle Mulliver, confirmed this to KARE 11, the NBC affiliate here in the Twin Cities. Liam gained national attention when a photo of his January 20th arrest was shared widely in his little bunny hat and Spider-Man backpack The image came to symbolize how children are being caught up in Operation Metro Surge. Bastards. God, you guys were just horrible with the kids. God, you were horrible. The Columbia Heights preschooler was one of several students from his school who had been taken into custody by immigration officials. 5 years old. Liam and his father were initially taken to Texas, but a judge ordered they be returned to Minnesota as they continued their asylum claim. The boy's mental health has suffered greatly since his detainment. The immigration judge, John Burns, handed down the decision to end the family's asylum claim. The family includes Liam, his 13-year-old brother, his father, and pregnant mother. Molliver said they are appealing, which could take months or years. If they lose the appeal, the family could be deported back to Ecuador. Columbia Heights Public Schools sent out the following statement. The announcement that the immigration judge has ended the asylum claims for the family of Liam is heartbreaking. We understand this is a decision to be appealed and remain hopeful for a positive outcome. The detention in January of Liam and his father shed light on the harm caused by Operation Metro Surge, during which many children and families have been detained. While we respect the legal process, we cannot ignore the profound human impact, especially on children, of this federal action, which was disrupted the lives of so many in our community members who entered the country through legal means. Our thoughts are with Liam and his family as we continue to advocate for him and support Liam and the children. Absolutely. Just that kid, breaks your heart. Just breaks your heart, the meanness of human beings. And I want to say this about this judge. I don't know if he, nope, gone, bye. Or if he knew that here's my fear, is did he know that if he ruled for Liam and his family, that the MAGA mob would come after him? And did that affect his decision? I don't know. I think that there's a kid that deserves a chance. And I would hope that they would give him a chance. And it doesn't sound like this judge is going to do that. Or it definitely sounds like this judge is not going to do it. Whether the appeals court uphold it, I don't know. But now, going from a child who deserves a chance to a kid who is clearly being given too much of a chance. So if you're in the Twin Cities metro area, the Wisconsin 7 district, this is the one where that idiot Sean Duffy came from. Sean Duffy, of course, the transportation secretary, also one of the suckiest contestants ever on the Real World. I mean, he was, God. I mean, probably only his wife was worse. I'd say it was. They weren't. Yeah, they're a delight. Anyway, so you know how he's out there and he's ruining our transportation system? Yeah, great. Well, a little bit of nepotism goes a long way. The $16 billion Hudson Tunnel project under construction between Manhattan and New Jersey will improve passenger rail service, an important issue for New York City commuters. It would seem to have nothing to do with happening in northern Wisconsin. But after the White House froze federal grant funding for the project in the fall, citing concerns about diversity and equity measures, lobbyists with an interest in the tunnel donated $2,500 to a political novice running in the Republican primary in Wisconsin's 7th congressional district. The young candidate is Michael Alfonso, has no sway over the matter, though. However, his father-in-law, Sean Duffy, is the Secretary of the Department of Transportation. Aha! That contribution is among dozens the Alfonso's campaign has gotten from lobbyists, business executives, and political action committees tied to the industries from rails to highways to shipping and air travel that Duffy's department funds and regulates. His department also oversees the FAA. So once again, I want to make sure we understand. This is, and you're going to be shocked, this is a 26-year-old construction worker who, I'm sorry, I look at the picture of this guy. He shouldn't be. No. But he'll probably win in 7 because mega. But yeah, this just seems like blatant corruption. It just seems like, hi, I got another big check from the airport in Phoenix today. This is great. I'm running for Wisconsin. Yay. Is there any grift these people will not take part in? My God. Duffy held the 7th congressional district seat for nearly a decade before resigning in 2019. He was succeeded by Tom Tiffany, who is now running for Wisconsin governor, leaving the seat open again. Alfonso, 26, who has worked in construction and podcasting. Oh, I bet you that's a hoot to listen to. Hey, I'm broadcasting. Brett, I do not want you to have to listen. Don't try to find it.
I think that should be the new open of your show every day.
Hey, broadcasting.
It's very catchy.
He has been endorsed by Donald Trump, a 26-year-old. Oh, God. This is clearly, I'm just going to call this what it is. This is clearly an attempt to create a opportunity for his son-in-law that his son-in-law probably doesn't deserve, but will probably be successful at because money. And Sean Duffy is my dad-in-law. Oh, so where did you get your construction degree? Oh, did you go to college? I'm going to guess you went to college. It doesn't say it was an engineer, but ProPublica analysis found that many of Alfonso's donors with transportation interests had never given to Duffy or Tiffany. While illegal, such donations set up the appearance that helping Alfonso might assist the donors with other issues influenced by Duffy. Oh, I have zero doubt in my mind. Sean Duffy is sitting there right now saying, who has given? Oh, excuse me. Who has given to my son-in-law? Who has made tribute to me? Oh, you're a douche, Duffy. I'll tell you that to your face, man. And you suck at running the Department of Transportation. You suck at it. Politico has reported on some of his contributions. The law, as it stands, provides very little constraint, says Daniel Weiner. Okay. Director of the Elections and Government Program at Brennan Center for Justice, a law and policy institute based in New York. There's a very large gulf between what is legal and what is ethical. Obviously, that raises numerous ethical questions. Yeah, there is a pretty wide gap there between what we consider to be legal and ethical nowadays. This is not the first time a cabinet secretary's relative has created thorny ethical issues. During the first Trump administration, Transportation Secretary Elaine Chao made headlines for appearing to give preferential treatment to Kentucky officials for millions of dollars in infrastructure grants. Oh, no, she was definitely feeding it there. Kentucky is the home state of her husband, Mitch McConnell. That's right. That woman kissed that face. God, talk about senior drinking hour. Dear Lord. All right, I talked down the bottle of booze. Where's Mitch? Come here. Here's your bedtime kiss.
Never kissed a turtle before?
No, it did not turn into a prince. It just turned into an older turtle. I'm getting smooches. Mitch McConnell at that point was the Senate Majority Leader and 100-year-old Galapagos. At the time, Chao's office denied showing any favoritism, wink, saying that Kentucky's share was not out of the ordinary. In 2012, under President Obama, Agricultural Secretary Tom Vilsack, an Iowa Democrat, fielded questions about the separation between U.S. Department of Agriculture businesses and the campaign of his wife, Christy, who is running for Congress. Christy Vilsack told ProPublica in an interview that the couple was careful about making sure her husband was not involved in the campaign other than to support some of the debates, and on election night, he never did anything fundraising at all. But did you get, if all of a sudden, a coffee producer is weighing a lot of money in on your campaign in Iowa? Yes. Here's another big check from the pineapple producers of Iowa. Oh boy, thank God they're here. Yeah. An influential member of Trump's cabinet, Duffy, has been openly assisting his son-in-law's campaign. The notice for a November meet and greet with Alfonso in Wausau, Wisconsin, mentioned that Duffy would be a special guest. Thanks, Dad. As did an invitation for another December fundraiser. Among the sponsors for the December event for the Political Action Committee was Delta Airlines. By the way, I'm going to be able to tie all this together, these last two stories together in just a second here. Delta Airlines. The invitation included a caveat. Sean Duffy is not soliciting funds in connection with this event. Wink! I don't think it actually said wink on there, but I can almost see wink, wink, wink. Yeah, I'm not soliciting Delta funds. Oh, Delta's giving a maximum donation check? How nice of them. Alfonso's campaign did not respond to requests from ProPublica in an interview for comment. Was that because they don't know how to use a phone, or were they swimming in their Scrooge McDuck vat of cash? I'm wondering which one was it. I'm just asking the question. A spokesperson for Duffy provided a written statement saying the secretary attends fundraising events in his personal capacity. Regulatory decisions are guided by career safety professionals, the law, and the facts. There's nothing funnier than a clearly corrupt piece of crap like Sean Duffy out there who is basically making it up as he goes, suddenly getting called out because seems to be intentionally or not steering a lot of donations that are transportation related to the Wisconsin 7th Congressional District. All of a sudden saying, how dare you perceive this? It's just, Amtrak, which doesn't have any major train service through that area, they just happen to want to be involved in politics in the Wisconsin 7th. I don't know actually if Amtrak does. I know the train that comes up to Minneapolis, St. Paul from Chicago goes through that district a little bit, but I don't think it stops there. Nothing in law bars Duffy from campaigning for his son-in-law as long as he goes about it on his personal time, doesn't use government resources, and does not promise to take some official action in exchange for a contribution. Mind you, he does it in his own time. We just had RFK Jr. do a video with Kid Rock where they drank milk in a hot tub. Okay? The line between work and business. Kristi Noem had the sex plane where Corey Lewandowski. I'm sure she was punched in on the clock one could say, during that time frame. Can you? Apparently, Corey Lewandowski also punched in. But I mean, hey, I don't judge. Whatever floats your boat or flies your plane. Alfonso is using the same fundraising consultant, Kirsten Hopkins, that Duffy employed, Federal Election Commission records show. In addition, Alfonso has received help with ads and mailers from a super PAC, the Northwoods Future PAC, that is funded with $1 million from Duffy's former campaign committee. Thanks, Dad. Alfonso's, by the way, and once again, this is rural Northwoods country. And you'd think to yourself, being such a little whiny, thanks, Dad, nepotism is great, would be the killer. But up there, he's got an R next to his name, so I'm glad that this is happening. Alfonso's familiar advantages has irked some Wisconsin Republicans who don't want the newcomer to glide into such an important position. It's 26 years old. Do you think this guy has any real experience outside of I talk on a podcast? I'm broadcasting. Me. I'm going to guess he doesn't understand the basics of this, but thanks, Dad. Through his own campaign committee, Alfonso has raised a little over $305,000 at the end of 2025. The latest filing available by law, contributions of each election are limited to $3,500 from individuals, $5,000 from political action committees. Donors contributed more to one election at the same time, such as a primary race and a general. Alfonso's donors include lobbyist Jeff Miller, a finance chair of Trump's most recent inaugural committee. In December, Miller and his company chief operating officer donated separately to Alfonso for a combined $8,500. No one listing their firm, Miller Strategies, as an employer, had donated to either Duffy or Tiffany in the past, according to FEC records. Yeah. The fix is in. Come on, this is so blatant and so plain that it's kind of embarrassing that, it's like, you can do it. Wait, you can, once again, it is legal to do. But is it ethical to do? Of course it's not ethical. But they don't care about ethics because the Republican mentality is don't ask for permission, ask for forgiveness. So, and I want to make sure all these grown freaking adults are looking at a 26-year-old with limited experience outside of, thanks, Dad, and saying, hey, let's give him a bunch of money because that's the best candidate for Wisconsin 7. I do hope it is a major blue wave, because it would be hilarious watching Duffy, if there was any chance in the world, and there's not going to be. Wisconsin 7 is as red as it gets. But if there was any chance that his son would lose, that how frantically he'd be like, oh, okay, so I just happen to have all my transportation meetings happening in the Wisconsin 7 district now. Here's where I'm going to tie this all together. The last two stories. The story of Liam Ramos and of course, Duffy here. And just to make sure we understand everything going on. Video tamed by Minnesota 5050N1. Activist Nick Benson concerns that Delta Airlines flew Liam Ramos, the 5-year-old Colombian Heights boy whose cruel capture broke hearts around the world, and his father to the Texas Detention Center in January. Benson, who's been tracking ICE flights from the MSP area, obtained the video via a public records request after Delta declined to confirm whether it had flown Ramos to San Antonio. Independent journalist Jillian Brockel broke the news on Monday, adding that the Delta spokesperson declined to say how frequently it is helping ICE. But Benson tells Brockel he's willing to bet a lot of captured migrant children and their families are being flown by Delta, which operates the only nonstop flights between Minneapolis and San Antonio, the nearest major city to the Dilley Detention Center. It's appalling that an airline has built a brand of integrity, multiculturalism, and high standards has complied with this type of enforcement, said the executive director of Unidos Minnesota, telling the confirmation that Delta was helping ICE a betrayal. I think they are going to lose a lot of business in the Latino community. Here's what I'll say. The fact that Delta is apparently scratching out checks. What was it? I'm going to go back and I want to make sure I said this. Among the sponsors of the December event was a political action committee for Delta Airlines. So Delta apparently caught, helping ship kids down to Texas from Minneapolis, St. Paul, and sponsoring major events for whatever the son-in-law. I don't even remember his name. Sean Duffy's kid. I'll just go with Sean Duffy's kid. That is happening. So his kid, Duffy's kid, he's getting big checks and a lot of help from Delta Airlines. Delta Airlines, meanwhile, other people's kids, not the same kind of treatment. 952. Did they put him in cuffs? Did they put poor Liam in cuffs during the flight? Is that what happened? Yikes. 952-946-6205. 952-946-6205. Well, come on back. It is. Did we have a winner, by the way, really quick?
Yeah, Roberta, Minneapolis.
Roberta in Minneapolis. Congratulations. You got those tickets. We'll give away more tickets next week. We'll be back. It is the Matt McNeil Show.
Make Libby part of your spring break plans and bring your library wherever you go. With the Libby app from MELSA, the Metropolitan Library Service Agency, you can borrow ebooks, audiobooks, graphic novels, comics, and digital magazines right on your phone, tablet, or Kindle. Just download the Libby app at libbyapp.com, enter your library card, and start reading or listening. Best of all, the app is free, and so are the books, thanks to your public library.
For delicious gourmet popcorn, Popcorn, Popped corn.com has you covered. Popped corn offers your favorite flavors ready to go. Cheese made with real cheese, their classic mix. More than 80 great flavors. Enjoy featured flavors like Shamrock Caramel and their tasty fudge and nuts. They sell their popcorn in various bag, gift box, and tin sizes, and they ship across the USA. Visit poppedcorn.com and enter in discount code MATT to get 10% off your order. That's discount code MATT at popcorn, Popped corn.com, and make everyone smile.
Hi, this is Frank Brown with Minuteman Press Uptown. It's election season. If you're campaigning for a candidate, your outreach needs top quality union printed materials, from direct mail and yard signs to door hangers, buttons, t-shirts, and flyers. Minuteman Uptown is your union shop to get people to the polls. We print everything. We'll keep your candidate top of mind, target your message with a laser focus, and maximize your voter turnout efforts. Get started today at mpuptown.com. That's mpuptown.com.
Greg Bakken here. I've told you about the out-of-the-world roast beef sandwiches at Maverick's Real Roast Beef, but I haven't told you about their Philly steak sandwiches, turkey bacon avocado sandwich, BLT, crispy chicken, fish sandwiches, brisket, or pulled pork. Okay, you get the idea. They make a lot of delicious food to the same standard as their famous roast beef sandwiches and now I'm starving. I'm going to go to Maverick's Real Roast Beef off Lexington and Roseville, and you need to go too. Check out their menu at mavericksbeef.com.
At Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces, our job is to help you find a place for fire. Our displays include over 180 models in diverse styles, and we have over 35 burning displays. Come and experience the glow and warmth of a live fire.
Some say there are only two seasons in Minnesota, road construction and winter. Hi, this is Laura, and I agree there are two seasons in Minnesota, summer and fireplace season. I bought my wood stove for Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces in 2005, and every season after summer comes the time when we fire up the wood stove, get out our favorite music, and discover the warmth of fire. Our dog Pumpkin remembers the fire too. He stations himself right there, legs up in the air, just enjoying the warmth of the fire. With the wood stove, we are able to keep the main area of the house toasty warm, while the thermostat is set at an energy-efficient 64 degrees. Discover your fireplace season. Visit Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces today.
Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces, out of the ordinary products and services since 1977.
It is the Matt McNeil Show. By the way, I was talking earlier about whether Netanyahu working with American officials who have placed Netanyahu's wishes over their own country. We were talking about that earlier. Tulsi Gabbard apparently came out today and basically said the goal for Israel is very different from the goal from the United States. Even she is trying to say there's two separate things that are going on here. And, I just don't know. It's the old Colin Powell line. You break it, you buy it. I mean, I don't know how you can, they might have a different goal, but you're both in the same mess. And Netanyahu is now saying, when is America throwing their troops into this? They need to land their troops and take that country. We'll sit back here and just tell us when we need to start, taking over everything over there. Not exactly. Exactly. One final thing here. And this is a recurring theme on this show. I'm calling out the MAGA guys who, remember when they said we need to get rid of all these undocumented people because those are the jobs we want? Well, I remember back in February of last year, right after Trump took office. God, that feels like it was 900 years ago. But when Trump took office, they went and raised up and arrested a bunch of guys who were roofing a house in Duluth, Minnesota in winter. And the first thing I said is, all right, guys, MAGA white guys, chop, chop up there. That roof needs to be put into place. There you go. And funny, one of the things that has happened is there haven't been a lot of these MAGA white guys who said they're taking all the good jobs, running in to fill these jobs that have become now all of a sudden available, whether that's in a meat processing plant or a dairy or construction, or in this case, Star Tribune had an article. We're talking about the physical therapy, working with communities where they're, for people in need. They Operation Metro Surge shook Minnesota's already short-staffed caregiving workforce. Immigrants and refugees make up a substantial portion of the workers in the industries that care for vulnerable people, including services for people with disabilities, older adults, and children. Federal immigration activity in the state has diminished, but people in the caregiving field say the crackdown, paired with increased scrutiny of social service programs, could have long-term consequences for Minnesotans. So this is a big problem here, and disability service providers told the Star Tribune that while their workers are generally still coming in during the immigration crackdown, some were carpooling because they were afraid to travel alone. And once employees arrived at work, they were worried about people taking people out of the community, often a key part of their job. So here are some jobs. They're already facing a critical workforce shortage in caregiving jobs right now. So MAGA, there you go. There's another job that you demanded was open because you wanted to work. Oh, that's right. You 20-time freaking MAGA losers who keep getting fired because you're drunk on the job. You think that you're going to go watch that one video as a prep case and then I'm going to put together iPhones and they're going to pay me $100,000 a year and that's what the job I'm going to get. No, you're not. Those aren't the jobs that are available to you. You need to have a degree to get those. These are the jobs that you demanded were open for you. They're open. Now get off your lazy asses and go do the work that you demanded that you wanted to be able to do. You lazy people, get out there and take these jobs if you were serious. Or, well, we already know you were lying, and it was because of racism reasons. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Till then, see ya.
Greg Bakken here. Like you, I love good, fresh, delicious food. So I want to tell you about this treasure in Roseville called